and happy holidays. I'm Jay Jackson. Welcome to WineNewsNoir.com. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing on YouTube. We begin in Glendora, California, where one wine expert's dream has hit an important milestone, and it's come with lots of important lessons.
Now you say you're sorry.
Tender jazz and fine wine. Elegance has become part of the fabric at Cocovino LA Wine Shop in Glendora. That's what happens after 5 years of elevating palates around here. I checked in with owner Juanito Pavone, who marked the 5th anniversary with more jazz, more wine, and more learning about the business of wine. 5 years, how does it feel?
It feels fantastic. I'm really happy that we put 5 years on the board. Looking forward to many more. So it's been good.
Talk about what has been the most important learning experience so far.
As a business owner in a wine shop and a wine bar, just understanding the trends, really being in tune with the palate of the community and understanding what's more palatable for what people are looking for. And I'll give you an example. The one thing is always using things like natural wine. Natural wine is one of those type of wines that it's not for everybody, but you have to carry a certain amount of natural wine because the community is burgeoning. So you carry natural wine to suit a lot of different palates. So just understanding the trends of how people drink wine and so forth.
Pavone opened Coco Vino in the midst of the pandemic, facing numerous zoning and personnel challenges. But he toughed it out, launched a weekly jazz series, and kept the wine and the smiles flowing. What's been the greatest joy?
The greatest joy is every night when I lock the doors, I feel a sense of contentment that we were able to bring a great product to our community and that we love what we do. You know, this was always a dream of mine to own a wine shop and a wine bar and to not just own it, but also be the sommelier and the curator of the wine.
What's the future for Coco Vino?
So the future for Coco Vino, hopefully another 5 years and branching out into greater Los Angeles as well as Northern California and possibly in the state of Texas.
All right, happy anniversary. A new super spray, a historic sale, and soaring spirits. Here are the top stories for this month's Wine in a Minute. A revolutionary new spray could forever change the way grape growers clean their pruning and harvesting tools. It's called Retain, and with a few sprays, it can sanitize shears, dissolve sap from harvesting blades, lubricate cutting devices, and prevent rust. The spray is produced by a company called Be Green and is currently available at Amazon and Walmart. Engineers say it could dramatically reduce disease transfer and cut production costs. California's historic Simi wine brand has a new owner. War Room Cellars took over the brand last month for an undisclosed amount. War Room says it plans to keep the Simi brand as is, but no word yet on layoffs. Simi Wines got its start in 1856 and was one of the few brands that survived the state's strict prohibition rules. California distillers have been enjoying an emergency order that allowed direct-to-consumer shipping since COVID, but next year it becomes law. The one-year law will serve as a test for spirits makers around the country to judge how much impact DTC spirits will impact on sales in traditional locations such as liquor stores, supermarkets, restaurants, and bars. The order only applied to California distilleries. Now spirits makers nationwide will be able to ship DTC to California if they meet state provisions and qualifications. And finally, we go to Upland, California for another anniversary, and just like Cocovino LA, it was a year filled with learning. Mimi Chaney has walked every inch of her Wine Me Up social wine tasting lounge since November of 2024.
1, 2, 3, cheers!
That's when she held the ribbon cutting ceremony to open the luxurious Wine Cove in Upland, California. Since then, Chaney says she has learned quite a bit about the wine business, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's been great. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but mostly ups, and I wouldn't change it in any way.
Okay, talk about the ups.
The ups is that the community has been well supportive in the business. I have regulars. I have a huge wine club. I have plenty of different birthday parties and celebrations. And it's just really nice to know that the community is receiving the business the first year so well.
1 year after the opening, the crowds are still strong, buyouts are regular, and the wine is always flowing. But there are challenges.
The challenges would be, not knowing the trends when the slow seasons are approaching, and when how to pivot as quickly if you have events and you don't have a well received event and it's not as expected. So those things, just learning and seeing and identifying how I can best be proactive in pivoting and recovering from those setbacks.
Even with the ups and downs, Cheney says the future is bright, and she has big plans.
The future. I would love to have some outdoor space, patio space. I had a mini a mini wine festival for my 1 year anniversary. And I think I want to continue doing that and expanding that. And so you will see more of Wine Me Up Festival in the year to come.
Amazingly, Cheney does all of that while still working a full-time job. Happy anniversary. And that's going to do it for this episode of WineNewsNoir.com. Happy holidays to you once again. And thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing on YouTube. I'm Jay Jackson. Cheers.